This is Sharon with Entelechy Visions, and this is an energy update for the week of December 14th through December 20th. So we have a very big week ahead of us, and it starts right off the bat with a very powerful alignment that we have been moving towards this entire month. The new moon solar eclipse in the sign of Sagittarius falls on the 14th. And this eclipse season that we have been moving through, that began with the eclipse on November 30th, had us moving through all of that shedding, all of that releasing, and really integrating and healing and letting go of things. So you may have noticed in the last couple weeks certain things arising within your life, possibly some endings, some very powerful endings, or maybe some nudges to things that are ready to leave your life, or something that has kind of outgrown your path and is pointing toward shifting that, something that is no longer aligning with you, and it's nudging you to begin to let it go, to begin to detach from it. And so these past couple of weeks have really been teaching us those lessons, but it's been a rather heavy journey, because anytime we let go of things or we move through a very powerful period of compacted healing and release, it can be very tender, very raw, and also bring up a lot of emotion around that as well. So the energy is changing quite a bit with this second eclipse. This is much more powerful, but it is much lighter as well. It is much more hopeful, more playful, and also this spark of inspiration for our lives. This particular eclipse is a grand new beginning. It lessens this weight of all of that heaviness, of that burden of what we've been moving through. And when we move through a lot of release and healing and detachment of the old and all that we've been through throughout the course of 2020, we're creating space for this new beginning. So that's what we've been doing, is we've been kind of cleaning out the closets and addressing the skeletons in there, addressing the cobwebs, the dust, and really wiping it clean and making room, making space so that this new beginning had somewhere to move into, had a place to really settle into now. This is a time that will feel as though the next couple weeks things will emerge that show you a new way, show you a new path. So really notice maybe what shows up in your life around this time. That eclipses can bring kind of fated and destined events for our life. And this particular eclipse season has been very karmic. It has been a massive karmic cycle completion of something that we've been moving through for quite some time that has truly challenged us on many, many levels. So especially these last couple years, if you notice within your life, there's maybe a certain area that has tested you a lot and you didn't know how you were going to keep going or keep at it with that certain area of life, this is that karmic cycle of completion with that area. So this particular solar new moon eclipse is marking that new beginning in that area. We're having certain alignments that are shifting us out of that testing and challenging part of our life in that area and moving us now into a new direction with it. Almost like a reward or a gift from all of the hard work that we've done towards that. And if you've put in your dues, if you have really kind of kept at it and faced the challenges, faced the tests that you were being called to move through, and you kept going, This is a time to really be offered or notice the way that the universe shows up and provides certain rewards for all of your efforts. So, this is a celebratory time. This is a grand moment where you may find a lot of abundance, a lot of miracles, gifts, and blessings show up in your life. This is like a portal into the new. So we're kind of exiting the heaviness of these tests in the last couple years, and especially the heaviness of this entire year. And we're walking through a new doorway now. We are birthing, we are in the tunnel, and we are birthing the new. The veil is being lifted, and we will begin to see a new path ahead of us. And even if we don't see it right away, come the eclipse point, it will begin to emerge as we move even further into the remaining half of this month and into 2021. This eclipse is also shaping the themes and how things will begin to play out for your life and your path and in the world come January and the entire next year. So this is a really, really potent time, and it is also leading us into the solstice point, the winter solstice on the 21st, which is kind of a mega moment for this year, a mega moment for the entire decade. So I have been mentioning that a little bit, and I do want to touch upon that just to kind of prepare us, because we'll already be feeling the energy of that even as this week pans out and we get closer to it. This particular winter solstice is being combined with something called the Great Conjunction. And I know that sounds really intense because it is. It is a very, very powerful alignment that is leading us out of one way of being as a planet and as a humanity. And it is leading us into a completely new cycle, a new age, the age of Aquarius. And you may have heard that term kind of used throughout time. Well, this is the moment. This is the doorway. We are entering that age, and it's being finalized. It's being pinpointed and marked by this great conjunction. We are entering this age of Aquarius, and we are leaving the age of Capricorn, which has had us moving through a lot of heaviness, a lot of lessons, responsibilities, rules, systems, government, routine. It has been all about the individual and the gathering of resources, kind of the me before the we. In other words, all about someone's own personal success and materialism, rather than the idea and the perspective of the whole of humanity. And now we are moving into another phase, another cycle, which marks a 200-year cycle. So this great conjunction is moving us into the remaining parts of however long we are moving through it in our life. This is the age we will be living through. So this period is shining a light on, it will be no longer about the me, it will be more about the we, and thinking more of humanitarianism, of community, of collective, of what is best for the whole rather than what is best for the individual. Thinking of the entire collective consciousness rather than selfish needs over top of that. So this is a massive, massive moment. And there's a lot surrounding this conjunction, which I will get into as we get closer to that next week. But I just kind of want to pinpoint what we're heading into and how huge this is. That this has been a focal point for many years, and there's been a lot of talk around this moment. And they are calling this alignment like the Christmas star, and kind of that bright star in the sky, to have that hope, that seed of the future, the potential of what is possible for humanity, what is possible for the planet. So this is an enormous moment, and it will be coupled with that solstice energy. So the solstice is an alignment that aligns us with the galactic center of the universe. And that's powerful in and of itself. So there's a lot of energy that will take place over the next couple weeks. So you may find that you are integrating quite a bit within your physical body surrounding that. And you may notice some ascension symptoms kind of popping up. So if you're feeling kind of off throughout the holidays, as these weeks pan out, just remind yourself to tend to your needs, your self-care. Definitely rest when you are able. Hydrate as much as you can, and ground yourself, maybe through exercise, being out in nature, or just visualizing that grounding within the planet. And another helpful tool is a grounding meditation that I do have here on this YouTube channel that will lead you through a quick grounding practice that you can do on a regular basis. And that will help you to feel more rooted and centered as we kind of move through this really, really powerful passage over the next couple weeks. So there's a lot going on, and there's so much to cover. But within this, it's inviting us to really kind of shed a ceiling within our life. This particular eclipse, with this new moon eclipse, that maybe we have capped ourselves of a certain potential, of what we feel that we are worthy of what we feel that we are allowing into our life. This eclipse is taking that ceiling off, and it's asking us to really open that up and invite in this infinite potential of what truly is possible for our path and our experiences in our life. Because maybe we've had certain illusions or belief systems based on what is possible. Well, now that's being erased. That is being shed. And it's really saying it's time to up level. It is time to take it to a totally new level that you have never been before. And this is what this grand new beginning is really calling toward right now. And even if you can't see all the pieces just yet, even around the eclipse itself, the reveal and the clarity around that will shape as we move more into this Aquarian energy over the next several weeks. So be patient with the process, but also kind of witness and notice and allow yourself to be open to that receptivity of what starts to kind of come into your life, what starts to emerge, and what starts to be seeded and begun. So this is a very, very powerful time, and it's also asking us to be okay with what has passed. Anytime we face a new beginning, we are simultaneously moving through an ending. And so it's inviting us to have peace with the fact that we are letting go of this year. We are letting go of that heaviness of all that Capricorn era. We are letting go of the lessons that we have moved through the tests and challenges in one or many areas of life that have really moved us through something over the last several years. So this is a completion. And to be okay or to honor any emotions that may come up surrounding that. If you're still moving through some grief, if you're still moving through some loss, if you're still moving through something that is triggering or testing you, know that can also be part of any new beginning. Because in order to step onto a new path, we have to step away from one path. So it's honoring the lessons of where we are leaving and welcoming and opening ourselves up, opening our hearts up to begin this new path and to integrate all of the emotions and the process that we are moving throughout all of that. So we are still completing all of those lessons of this year and the bulk of what was just mentioned, that it's kind of like the old skin is teaching us still. As we're in this shedding process, you're honoring, you're thanking that old way. And to know that process takes time of moving out of the old and into the new. So pieces will emerge even more, but to use this beginning point as a celebration and also that honoring of where you've been and where you are heading now. So the second half of this month, the energy will begin to feel very propelled, very fiery, and very much forward moving. So we kind of have been in this limbo transitional state in between the eclipse sandwiches. And as we enter this second eclipse with the solar eclipse, you may find that it's almost like a bull letting out of its cage, that everything just kind of fiery action, forward moving, wants to propel ahead. And that will pick up speed as we move toward the remaining parts of this month. So pace yourself with that, but know that this is also an influence for everyone and in the world within this energy. So I would like to share with you the channeled message for this week, and just to remind you of truly what we're moving through, of the power and the graduation that we are moving toward our mastery. We are integrating all we've learned and using that as wisdom to rise up to that new level of mastery. This is a time of revolutionary change that begins within the quiet spaces of each soul's heart and inner awareness, like a spark that ignited to light ablaze a great fire of awareness that transcends all indifference and raises sights to a whole new level. This is the greatest gift this holiday season, like a package you have been waiting to unwrap for eternity. Celebrate this grand opening. The new age is here. So quite a powerful message this week. I leave you with that message just to ruminate over, and I hope that you have a wonderful week ahead, a wonderful new moon solar eclipse. If you do need additional support at this time, I am offering remote and in-person sessions, which you can learn more about them at entelechyvisions.com. I do invite you to like and subscribe to this channel, as it does help to support the channel. I hope that you have a wonderful week ahead, and I thank you for listening.